All right, Princeton University did a study to show that a decrease in lead exposure in early childhood may be responsible for the drop in the crime rate. So, people exposed to lead as young children, as far as from ages 0 to 6 years old, are more likely to exhibit poor thinking skills and impulse control, trouble paying attention, and behave aggressively. So, what does all of this mean for the black community? Let's dig deeper. So, does lead in crime have any correlation? I'm saying that a lot of people may say bad people go to jail or people that just make decisions go to jail, but I beg to differ. So, in this video, I will explain why lead levels may be packing prisons and packing pockets. And I'm gonna give statistics on that, and I want y'all to give me y'all feedback on what y'all think. So check it out. Children of color have almost 2 times more higher lead levels in the first year of life than any other race, according to a study done by the National Center of Biotechnology Information. So it also found that there is substantial evidence linking lead exposure to a heightened risk of criminal behavior, particularly violent crimes. So this aligns with early research suggesting lead exposure may foster impulsive and aggressive tendencies, potential precursors to violent offenses. So when we see prisons, we see majority of people of color community, okay? But it could be a reason for that. So concerns about the exposure of lead began in the 1970s, right? And in decades since, scientists have concluded that no safe threshold for lead exposure exists. So in 1971, the war on drugs started, which basically was a tactic to profit off of incarceration. But after decades of increasing crimes across the world, crime rates started to decline sharply in the 1990s, but picked back up shortly after the 1994 crime bill was passed.
Well, first of all, things have changed drastically. That crime bill went and voted. The Black Caucus voted for it. Every black mayor supported it across the board. And it didn't. The crime bill itself did not have mandatory sentences except for 2 things. What it had 3 strikes and you're out, which I voted against in the crime bill, but it had a lot of other things in it that turned out to be both bad and good. I wrote the Violence Against Women Act. That was part of it. The assault weapons ban and other things that were good. What I was against was giving states more money for prison systems that they could build, state prison systems. And you have 93 out of every 100 people in jail now is in a state prison, not in a federal prison, because they built more prisons. I also wrote into that bill a thing called drug courts. I don't believe anybody should be going to jail for drug use. They should be going into mandatory rehabilitation. We should be building rehab centers to have these people housed. We should wipe out, we should decriminalize marijuana, wipe out the record so you can actually say in honesty, you ever been arrested for anything? You can say no, because we're going to pass a law saying there is no background that you have to reveal relative to the use of marijuana. And so there's a lot of things, but in addition to that, we got to change the system. I joined with a group of people in the House to provide for changing the system from punishment to rehabilitation. Along with a guy named Arlen Specter, who you may remember, I wrote the Second Chance Act.
But in the meantime, an awful lot of people were jailed for minor drug crimes after the
Exactly right.
Was it a mistake to support it?
Yes, it was. But here's where the mistake came. The mistake came in terms of what the states did locally,
which led to more profit off mass incarceration, thanks to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. So what we have to ask ourselves, and I suggest everybody get this book, A Terrible Thing to Waste, Environmental Racism and Its Assault on the American Mind. This is by Harriet A. Washington. This is pretty much crazy to know that scientists pretty much knew before the war on drugs in 1971 that lead can lead to these things, and this could lead to big profits. Okay, so lead exposure is vertically transmitted from mother to child, and testing women of color for lead in preconception planning and pregnancy may be needed to identify the risk to the future of the offspring from what we know right now. But lead is widely understood to be toxic to the brain. So if you ever met somebody and you was like, yo, this person is just toxic, they may have a lot of lead in their water. Don't take it, take it easy on it, right? But recently, the Environmental Defense Fund analyzed 11 years of federal data, and it detected lead in 2,164 baby food samples, from fruit juices to carrots to teething biscuits to sweet potatoes, right? 1 out of every 4 juice samples exceeded federal lead limits by 5 parts per million. Seems a little suspicious, right? So formula-fed infants get most of their lead from water, but that changes as they age. And if y'all know, I do offer water purifications, wholesale, right to you from the manufacturer. I manufacture it, and it's keep your kids, keep you out of a lot of chemicals and things that could get into your water that could be affecting you that you don't even know about. But the prison system spends, right, about $80 billion a year, taxpayers' dollars, and make corporations $374 million annually. So after getting all of this information, my opinion is that lead has a big play into packing prisons and making profits off incarceration. Okay. I think this is bigger for the community, that we need to understand that, the environmental racism that's being done. Because if lead is in our system as babies, we're not giving children resources, to be successful. So I think this is something that we need to push. Make sure y'all share this video. Make sure you make people aware of what's going on. And hopefully we can change this. Hopefully we can eliminate the lead that's in children's, babies, system, and get on to a cleaner life. Change your water, change your life. Make sure y'all hit me in the description. Appreciate you guys. Like, share. Make sure people are aware of this. I love y'all. Peace and love. Make sure you get your free water test at envirely.com. Here we got Mr. Pollock. He had a cornfield. He took advantage of a free water test from us, and this is what we found in this water. We found sulfur, we found hardness, and we solved these problems with an easy fix of 2 tanks. So get your free water test today. Stay blessed. Click the link below.